Hey YouTube, welcome to my first bug out video. Now today is late March and I'm in the northern United States. As you can see, it's pretty crappy out. It's very cloudy and I think the high today is supposed to be close to 50, but with this cloud cover it's probably going to feel more like the high 30s or low 40s. But I just wanted to go up to my bug out location for a quick test. I'm just going to go up there for a short day trip, just kind of test things out and see if there's anything that I'm lacking or missing. So it'll be kind of a cool way to go see how things have been over the winter. Alright, so I've arrived and the wood that I set here last winter is still inside there. You can see it's just a bunch of random stuff mixed together. And we're going to get it going with this little fire tin that I've got in my pocket. There's not too much inside here. I've got some Coleman waterproof matches, some dryer lint, and one of those little fire starters. It's some kind of gel or something like that. So I'm just trying some dryer lint right now. I threw it in there, and I'm hoping that it will catch the fire. As you can see, there's a little flame in there. I'm not sure how well the camera is picking it up. There's a little tiny flame right down in there, and it looks like some of the wood caught. The problem is it just rained all day yesterday, so a lot of this wood is just completely soaked. It's dried, seasoned wood, but the problem is it's just really wet right now. So I'm hoping we're going to be able to get this to catch, and if not, I've got a few other tricks that we can try out. Alright, so the dryer lint went out, didn't start anything, so now I've got some napkins in there that started more of a fire, so we're going to try to blow on the coals to see if we can get it to catch, which it looks like this is actually working pretty well. And we have fire. Man, there's just something about being around a bonfire, which is just so much fun. I don't know what it is. Just being around a fire, hearing the snapping and crackling, and just feeling the warmth is great. And trust me, I do need the warmth today. It is pretty chilly out here. I've got a thick coat on, which you probably hear in the background, but it is definitely a nice sight to have. And unfortunately, I realized I don't have any actual logs or wood around here, so I need to go get some of that. As you can see, a lot of the land around here is pretty wet. Everything is just really soaked. My pond is pretty much maxed out. So while I'm going to pick up some wood, I just threw a pallet on there, which should burn until I get back. And you can see there's still little patches of snow all around here. There's not much. You can see like the rest of this area is clear, but there is still a little bit out here. So I just got back from gathering some wood. As you can see, we got some branches there, and the pallet pretty much lasted me the entire time, which is perfect. All right, time to make some coffee. I've got some Seattle's Best coffee in my new French press, and I'm using this little cup here from my car bug out kit because I forgot to bring a cup. So this is the contents of the cup. It's actually got a little plastic cup inside there. I've got this little plastic baggie. It's got all kinds of stuff in here, some basic medical stuff. It's got a couple candles, some matches, some Band-Aids, a little bit of gauze, just a bunch of random stuff in there, and of course a little instant coffee packet, but we don't need that because we've got some real coffee here. Now I'm going to fill up the cup with some water from this 5-gallon bucket. Now, this little cap here that comes with the 5-gallon bucket normally fits inside there when it's closed to stop it from leaking, but you can also take it and put it on the end of the nozzle to make sure that nothing goes back inside of there when you've got it opened up. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the fire now that I've got it all filled up, and I'm going to try to set it close to the coals. I don't want to set it in the center because this thing's really not made for that much heat. As you can tell, it's even got a little plastic tab on the top, which is probably going to melt and cause some problems later on, but I'll just end up replacing that with a metal ring like I did on some of my other ones. But this should be a good spot here. All right, it's been a couple minutes. I just wanted to open this up to see how it's doing inside there. And you can see there's a few bubbles forming on the side there. There is a little bit of ash getting in there, even though I've got the lid on. If I had it off, there'd be a lot more in there. I had to stoke up the fire a little bit because the coals were starting to die down just a little. Like I said, I didn't put any real hardwood on here yet, so it really needed something to help get a better base on there. So with this extra heat, the water should be boiling in pretty much no time at all. All right, I think the water should be just about boiling. You can see the plastic piece is all melted. So yeah, you can see it's pretty much there. I'm going to go ahead and set up the machine, put some coffee in there. By the time I get back, it should be pretty much boiling and we can make our coffee. All right, so I put 2 scoops of this in there. It is a dark roast. I do love dark roast coffee, and this French press makes amazing coffee. So I'm going to go ahead and pour the water in there. As you can see, there's little pieces floating around in there, but since it is a French press, it should filter any of that stuff out anyways. And even if it doesn't, it's not really going to kill you. Oh man, this looks so good. It's really cold out here, so having this nice warm coffee will really help heat up my insides and just make it that much more bearable out here. Coffee. All right, well, I've got my first cup poured, and it looks delicious. So let's go ahead and try it out. And cheers, YouTube. You know, if you guys ever need some heat, all you gotta do is throw some plywood on the fire. If you guys don't know, it burns extremely hot. I mean, you don't want to stand next to this fire when this stuff is burning like this, because it's just, A, giving off toxic fumes that probably aren't good for you and you don't want to cook over it, but B, the heat is just tremendous. And it's kind of interesting. I don't know, you probably can't see them, but 2 military jets just flew overhead. And I thought that was kind of interesting that on the day I'm testing my Bugout equipment, that stuff just kind of flew by. It's definitely weird and kind of creepy in a way. Now imagine if this were a real scenario and you heard that going overhead. It'd be that much crazier. Alright, so I'm testing out my collapsible fishing pole. There are fish in this pond. Most of them are pretty small. I just restocked it a couple years ago, so I'm hoping that we're going to get a lot more of the bigger fish in here. A lot of them died off because we had a really cold winter not too long ago. So I just caught a fish and I wanted to show you how I caught it. It literally hooked it through its side, and if I wasn't recording this, you wouldn't believe me. And looks like we've got a second fish here again. I thought I was recording reeling in the last fish, but unfortunately I didn't. I didn't hit the record button. So I'm going to try to record this one here. Hopefully it's not too annoying. It's really hard to hold a camera, a fishing reel, and reel in a fish all at the same time. I should probably get like a mount or something for this, but I do have a fish on there, and I'm actually glad that this video did take, because you're not going to believe how this fish got caught. I hooked it on its top fin. If I didn't have a video of this, I would never be able to convince anyone that this is real, but I literally caught this fish by hooking its top fin. Look, it's just barely sitting on there, too. And it's just a tiny little hook, and I caught the fish by its fin, which is just, it's crazy. Now, one thing I did just recently pick up is this blue can of water. It's supposed to be good for 50 years. I'm going to leave some of this up here. You can see the expiration is 2067, which is a long time from now. So I'm just throwing some bread out into the water, and you can see that the fish are kind of going crazy. Like I said, there's a lot of smaller fish in here, and eventually they will grow up. There's kind of a mix of stuff in here. Well, the fire is dying down, and it's pretty much time to go, so I've gone and stocked up on a few more wood pieces. I'm going to try to leave them separated this time, so that next time I go to light this, I can just throw some paper under it and stack everything on top. But everything's pretty much packed up, and we're ready to go home. Now, to be safe, I poured the remaining 4 gallons or so onto the fire pit. I made sure to cover everything, including the grass around it, to make sure that everything is out. There's pretty much no way that that thing is going to reignite itself, unless maybe I put a new set of wood on top and catch on fire, but that's not really something I'm worried about happening naturally. And just as quickly as we got here, it's time to head home. So hopefully you guys had fun watching this video. There are a few things that I forgot to bring. I probably would have stayed the night, but I didn't have any clothes on me. And one of the more important things was I didn't actually bring any meals of food. So the food was definitely a downfall, and I didn't bring gas for my generator either. So there's a lot of little things that I didn't bring, and I'm kind of glad that I was able to make this video. And if you guys liked it and want to see more stuff like this, make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys again next time.